Hi, Mike Jacobi here, inviting you to join us again for Jazz Tonight as we kick off the 2015 season. This year, the Summer of Sinatra, dedicated to old Blue Eyes, celebrating his 100th birthday. Each week, we'll be bringing you a new artist that's appearing in town, look behind the scenes and find out what they've got going on in the recording studio and find out what else is going on live in their lives. Jazz Tonight, right here on KCAT.
Captain's Log, Day of Discovery. Today, our junior crew members declared their independence. While the young cadets explored uncharted territory, the Admiral and I discovered the Fountain of Youth. Later, we were treated to a royal banquet. And after a brief skirmish with pirates, we celebrated with cannon fire.
Disney Cruise Line. When it comes to pleasing everyone, the difference is Disney.
Hello and welcome to Jazz Tonight. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plazz and host of Raising the Standards on KSCO Radio in Santa Cruz. With me, and I'm so glad they're in town, the Four Freshmen, and they have come in like a whirlwind. It's good to have you guys here.
Well, it's great to be here, Michael.
I will introduce you, my left to your right, or their right to my left, Bob Stein, and then going right to left, Curtis and Tommy.
Right on.
It's good to have you guys here.
Yeah, thank you.
Robert, tell me a little bit about the group, and obviously people tuning in are maybe saying, wow, they've held up well.
Yes,
and they realize, no, this is a younger version.
Yes, this is, probably the most common question asked is, how did you get the Four Freshmen name? And actually the Four Freshmen have been working nonstop for 67 years. Wow. We kind of equate it to a sports team. The organization is the same.
Like
all
the
of the
Yankees,
players change, but you don't want to see the original Yankees
Yeah,
play
no, you
necessarily.
don't. That's a good point.
I mean, it'd be nice, but
Yeah.
we've all come in at different times. I joined the group back in 1992 when the last original member retired.
Was Flanagan the last?
Bob Flanagan retired, yes, after 44 years on the road with the
And
group.
he was in the original group?
He was the original lead singer.
Okay.
He started in 1948 and retired in 1992. He's the one that his lead voice was that inspirational sound that Brian Wilson, just clung onto and created the Beach Boys.
48, and Stan Kenton heard them? Is that the story? This is what we're talking about, Hermosa Beach?
Correct.
The lighthouse?
Stan Kenton saw them actually at a club in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
And it was, it was one of those things where, he said, he goes to Capitol Records and says, you gotta sign these guys. I mean, they're amazing and they're doing wonderful things. And they were huge Kenton fans, the freshmen. And they really modeled their vocal sound after the trombone section of the Kenton band.
If there is ever a vocal sound that you would call West Coast Jazz, it's you guys.
Wow, yeah. I never thought of it that way, but I guess you could say that, even though they're from the Midwest too. So.
Stain, you come relatively new to the group. Formally, yes. What did you need? When did you join the group?
I joined the group 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, you gonna do a Dwayne Thomas on me?
No,
Yes. No.
that was the response.
Okay, but you're just okay. Now, is this like out of the blue? Is this all of a sudden it goes, hey, we're looking for somebody you may work out, or how did it all come together?
Well, I have been friends with Brian Eichenberger, who was the lead singer and bassist. He was the guitarist in the group actually. I think he'd been in for 16 years. At that time, and Brian and I are both from Minnesota, and I had known Brian and worked with him there, and this came up, and he called me.
So, after the unfortunate hunting accident that you were in,
that's right.
well, it's too bad. Apparently, you can't play guitar anymore. But
a lot of shotgun play in the Four Freshmen, and more than you would expect from a musical act.
Curtis, I'm sorry. First of all, Stain, the Norwegian name?
It is.
Are you from Norway?
My mother is off the boat. Yeah.
And obviously has a sense of humor, and God bless her for it.
That's very
What do what do they call you for short? Just
well,
Spot.
my name is in English, and that frightens some people.
That does. People aren't comfortable.
It frightened me at
Curtis.
first, I'll be honest.
Curtis back there.
Courtois, sorry.
Curtis, your background.
My family history from Spain, and
Why is this making it so tough on me?
it was probably about 1790, and they came over to Central.
Tommy, I'm going to slip you some answers so that when we get to your
This is breaking down really fast here. I don't know.
I'm
It was the Canary Islands.
I'm waiting for the first response to be, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Tommy, we don't know where he comes
Oh,
from.
now, all right, when did you join the group?
I joined the group actually in 2001, basically September 1st. Basically, yeah. I don't know. It was a rough week for these guys. I didn't know my parts, you know. I was drinking. No, that's not true. It was fun. You know, one of the first things I did with the group was a TV show. We did the well, not TV show, but we did the Jerry Lewis telethon. So
Oh,
that was
did
kinda
you?
Cool. Yeah. That was like my second gig maybe ever with the group. Yeah.
Were you in Vegas with Jerry? Was Jerry with you?
Yeah, well, it wasn't actually. It was in
Los
California.
Angeles.
It was in Los Angeles, and it was about 2 or 3 in the morning when we're doing it. And Ed McMahon was actually sitting there, like falling asleep while we're performing 2 songs, and then woke up right when we were done. He's like, "Oh,
yo!"
You know, it was great.
And, empty. Tommy.
I joined the group in 1948.
Whoa! Thought you looked familiar.
Every night he
The only
opens
guy
his
that looks
face.
his age.
Yeah, right.
No, I just joined in January, so I've been with the group for about 6 months now.
Well, so who told you can ad-lib already?
No, he's gonna get docked.
Stage
for that.
just got ad-libbing rights after a year and a half.
Yeah, it's,
That's right.
you're contractually obligated.
That's
not
right.
to do that.
Not to ad-lib. Try to be
You're not even
as
supposed to be
dull as
talking.
possible to make these guys look
That's
good.
right.
So you're from where?
I'm originally from just outside Denver, Colorado,
Okay.
from Aurora,
A
and
little place I call Denver.
yeah, yes. I was teaching at a small music school out in Iowa, the School for Music Vocations, tiny town called Creston, Iowa, and
And you know tiny town in Iowa are redundant.
yeah, of course.
Right.
And Brian Eichenberger, the guy who was singing the lead part for the last little while, he went to that school as well, so he just called up my boss and kind of just was at the right place, right time. And so I just finished teaching and just been able to hop on the road here for the last few months and just have a good time swinging,
Interestingly enough, too, like I joined the group in 2001, but back around 1997 or something like that, I was playing at a jazz club in San Antonio, Texas, and I met Brian Eichenberger on the Riverwalk, and then a couple years later, he calls to join. So actually, the 3 of us are almost.
Is Brian still alive?
Unfortunately,
No.
he's still
No,
alive.
but we got 3 gigs out of it.
He's doing really well.
Shotgun.
Yeah, he is.
Probably
He's,
don't want to
he's
help
going
him.
and touring and stuff like that as well, and yeah.
Let me ask you the logistics, because obviously you travel together and you have to work so closely together from a harmonic standpoint. Do the 3 of you vote? Is it somebody's call when you bring in a new guy in?
Oh,
Or is it
well,
all based on what he brings to the table?
I think, it's, of course, it's the musical, your musical abilities, but it's as much the person.
Sure.
We have to be able to get along because
Yeah.
we see each other as much as we see our family or significant others, close friends. We're on the road all the time, so getting along, that chemistry is so important. Bringing a positive energy to the group, being going to be able to contribute something that is on top of what their predecessors may have, contributed
Does
to
the
the group.
application have turn-ons, turn-offs?
Yeah, right.
Idea of a
Tons
perfect
of
evening?
Tinder. It was just Tinder, like.
Yeah, but it's great. Since Tommy joined us, we have every new member that comes in brings a different and a positive energy to the group, which really helps in the performance dynamic. And with Tommy coming in, he's got this big booming voice, and just this power and this passion for the music, which is really conveyed from the stage, and we love that. I mean, that's what we're all about. We're having a great time doing music, performing this great sound, and it comes across. At least we hope it does that way.
Now, Stacey, I mean, you're a young man.
Thanks for noticing.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't know. I just got the one set of cue cards. But were you into the freshman music before, or was this like?
Well, the first group I ever loved was the Beach Boys.
Okay, so
When I was 4, my dad took me to see the Beach Boys.
Okay.
And I decided to be a musician then.
Okay.
And my dad had listened to the Freshmen, when he was a kid. But I wasn't really aware of them until I met Brian. And then I heard him, I was like, oh yeah, I realized I kind of knew the sound because of the, you know, the influence on
Sure.
Brian Wilson.
I would think in the history of in terms of the chain as it moves along from the Four Freshmen to the Beach Boys. Four Freshmen, I would imagine, were influenced by the Weavers.
Oh boy, the Meltones,
Yeah.
I believe, the Pied Pipers. even.
Pied Pipers,
Pied
sure.
Pipers.
Well, I'm talking about Sinatra.
Exactly.
Sang with them.
You know, but like I said, they were as much influenced by instrumentalists and the big band sound. As I mentioned, they really drew their harmonic influence from the trombone section of the Stan Kenton Big Band. So they sat around a guitar and they created this sound, songs like Poinciana, by ear. Yeah. They would go down and create it chord by chord. And in this day and age with us, where we're dealing with arrangements, and we write arrangements as well and contribute to new things, to be able to try to fathom the fact that they sat around and like did chord by chord a whole song. I said that must have taken forever, but you know, but they did it, and it really changed the face.
Well, it's interesting. It's very much like Vocalese in that, which you guys, are, of course, the poster boys for. But we had Giacomo Gates here last week, and talking about the people going through where Moody writing the Moody solo and then writing the words to that. So it's like words that have never existed, where you'll have the lyrics that are originally written, but then there'll be whether it's
Sure.
Thelonious Monk and Epiphany be written and added in. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
You so you're classically trained, are most of you guys as well?
Somewhat.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, I mean, grew up listening to jazz. I know.
So you're a jazz major in Minnesota?
I was a jazz major out in Boston.
In Boston and in Minnesota?
I went to school in Wisconsin.
Okay, because you wanted to kind of move up, go from Minnesota. What was next for you? Ohio? Does it just keep getting better?
Yeah.
Canada.
Canada. That was my bucket list. Canada.
Saskatchewan all the way.
But you were a music major there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In theory, I mean, with an eye to teach, or I mean,
Performance, guitar, performance, jazz, and classical
what was the
guitar.
point? Okay. Your influences, Mundell Lowe, Wes Montgomery, people, the obvious people like that.
Yeah, I love the same people most guitar players love.
Yeah.
You know.
But were you a big rock fan? Were you a Hendrix fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was playing in bars and stuff when I was like 14.
Really?
So, yeah, I was into that, and then I had my kind of jazz awakening in high school, and went to school for it. And, yeah.
But you started out more as a musician than a vocalist, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
And
But I sang. I always
always sang,
sang. I was in
okay.
choirs and stuff growing up, and I was in like a touring choir when I was 11 or something.
as you'll find out in a moment, Stain is the guitar player. Curtis, trumpet, and did you play trombone as well, or just trumpet?
No, trumpet
Just
is
trumpet.
horn.
Okay, just you and Miles.
Exactly,
Kind of
that's
keep
it.
the same deal. I don't want to push it.
Like one and the same.
Lead vocals?
Lead vocals and bass. Yeah.
Lead vocals and bass, and your lead vocals as well.
Bass vocal.
Bass vocal.
Yeah, we both sing lead. It's,
So
it's
Mama
kind of
sang
awkward.
bass.
No, I sing bass vocals, play
Yeah,
drums.
Who if Papa sings tenor? Who's Papa? You are.
I'm
Mama
singing way
sang
up
bass.
there.
I'm
No,
down there.
I like it. You're doing how much a year? 7-8 months a year on the road?
Yeah, about 6 to 7
6
months.
or so, yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about the other day. We had lunch the other day, and talked about the idea, which we've talked about in this program, that the Great American Songbook did not end with Rodgers and Hart, and that there's a whole generation of great music. We talked to you guys about doing a CD, the new American Songbook,
Yeah, I mean,
whether it's Billy Joel or Jimmy Webb, or even way beyond that.
yeah, or even like we're talking about Carole
Carole
King
King,
or
Rusty-
Bob Dylan,
We're
or
talking Rusty
you know,
Nails,
there's
or Nine Inch Nails. We were talking.
yes,
about.
yeah, Johnny
Cash,
Cash,
which
it's
was
like,
magnificent.
you know, I mean, it's a lot of times it's not about whether, like you said, it was written by Rodgers and Hart or Cole Porter. I mean, I've always been amazing writers, and it's all about the interpretation of the song. And if you can do the interpretation, or do an interpretation that does the song justice, I think, you know, there are a lot of tunes out there that are worth performing.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark. We had talked about, obviously, you're here for many reasons. One, I'm big admirers of yours, but it's our theme this year is the Summer of Sinatra, celebrating its 100th birth anniversary, which, by the way, is also Orson Welles and Billie Holiday's.
Oh, wow.
Kind of a dumb theme with Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Now War of the Worlds.
Yes, we will sell the wine before it's time.
You guys have done for this performance, which will have already happened by the time you folks at home see this, but you've done a new arrangement of Come Fly With Me.
Correct.
Am I throwing this out at the wrong time? Can we do that?
Oh, sure. That'd be
I'll tell you what, the Four Freshmen are here. You're watching Jazz Tonight. We're going to take a quick break and try to sell you something, and then we'll be back with the Four Freshmen doing what they do best. And you know it's not interviews. I'm Mike Jacobi. Hi, welcome back to Jazz Tonight. In the house of the Four Freshmen. We're delighted to have them here. They have done something which they did the other night at the Plaza. They have a whole new arrangement of Come Fly With Me as a special tribute to Mr. Sinatra, and they've written it just for Los Gatos, just for that show. Hang on a second. Curtis, is it ready?
Is the song ready?
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, we got the arrangement.
Wait.
We're good.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, the Four Freshmen.
Thank you for asking.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in Farm Bay. Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Fly with me, let's float down to Peru.
In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and they'll toot his flute for you.
Come fly with me,
Let's take off in the blue.
once I get you up there, where the air is rarefied, we'll just glide starry-eyed.
Once I get you up there, I'll be holding you so near. You may hear angels cheer, 'cause we're together. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day.
Just say the words and we'll beat the birds down to Acapulco Bay.
It's perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Weather-wise, it's such a lovely day.
Just say the words and we'll beat the birds down to Acapulco Bay.
It's perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me. Let's fly away. Come fly with me. Pack up, let's fly away.
All right. Would you like to hear another?
I would. Thank you
All
for
right.
asking.
You're welcome. This is especially for that gentleman over there that you can't see off the camera.
Ooh, tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes, ah. When she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gently, that when she passes, each one she passes goes, ah, ah, ooh.
But I watch her so sadly. How can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly, but each day as she walks to the sea,
She looked straight ahead, not at me. Oh, tall and tan and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes he smiles, but she doesn't see. Porque estou tão sozinho. Porque tudo é tão triste. A beleza que existe, a beleza que não é só minha, que também passa sozinha. Se ela soubesse que quando ela passa, o mundo sorrindo se enche de graça e fica mais lindo por causa do amor.
Indeed. Four Freshmen. Love these guys.
Yeah, man.
We have had a very long tradition of jazz legend honorees at Jazz on the Plazz, going back to the likes of Cleo Lane and John Dankworth, Diane Shure, Mose Allison, Ramsey Lewis, Houston Person. We're adding you to that list. I'm so
great.
delighted that you're here. And
Thank you so much.
I'm going to, while I thank folks, I'm going to have you sing me out with I won't say an obscure Sinatra tune, but one of the loveliest.
Yeah, certainly.
It's from the Point of No Return CD that was done in, I think, 58. I knew that. That's why it looks so cool.
Oh,
recalling
yeah.
that.
Well, you know, it was
On
actually
the Capitol.
recorded 3 times, too.
Well, was this the Axel Stordahl version?
With the strings
Or
and everything?
Kavanaugh, it might be.
I think it's... Oh, that's a good question.
Well, anyway, it's a tune called Mamzelle, and this is a group called the Four Freshmen. I thank you. Next week, we'll talk to Tony Lindsay. Go ahead and get started. We'll talk to Tony Lindsay, lead singer of Santana, who will be at Jazz on the Plazz. And thank you to the folks at Disney Cruise Line, Los Gatos Music and Arts, and all of you folks that help keep jazz alive. I'm Jacobi. I'll see you soon.
A small cafe, Mamzelle, our rendezvous, Mamzelle. The violins were warm and sweet, and so were you, Mamzelle. And as the night danced by, a kiss became a sign. Your lovely eyes seem to sparkle just like wine does. No heart yearn the way that mine does for you. And yet I know too well, someday you'll say goodbye, then violins will cry, and so will I, Mamzelle. Your lovely eyes other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing.